What's up, YouTube? I'm Z, and this channel shows you the world through my lens. The death of Slim Shady. Guys, I came in last night. I'm in Dubai, so my timings are all different. So I already couldn't do it right when it released. I was about 14 or 15 hours after it released to actually get a chance to listen to it. I had to go like complete radio silence, and I messaged my friends. I was like, do not say a word about anything. I was trying to avoid being on social media, all of that stuff. So finally got to listen to it last night. Started uploading it, finished uploading it. On the final step, it said video is partially blocked. Now I see this all the time in my videos. And so when it says partially blocked, it'll be like it's blocked in some territories, but not all territories. So I check, and usually what most record labels are doing right now is because of the war in Ukraine, they're blocking the videos in Russia and in Belarus. So I checked, and that's what it said. Every single copyright, hit that I was getting on it was this video cannot be viewed in Russia or Belarus. So I was like, okay, that's awesome. Like, I got lucky or whatever. Maybe they're letting us do the reaction. I finished the processing and everything and put the timestamps. I put a lot of work into it. It's a 2-hour video. And finally hit upload. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, like I really hope this does well. And when I get nervous, I mean, look, it doesn't matter if it does well or not. I super enjoyed it. And I'll talk about that in a second. But when I get nervous about stuff, in my mind, it's like if I don't watch it, then it's going to do better than if I'm watching it. And it makes no sense, but it's just how I process things. Like, I don't want to feel disheartened that I hit publish and in like the first 10 minutes, there's like 0 views or something like that, right? So anyways, I hit publish and I walk away. I go home. It's like 4:30 or 5 in the morning. I got home and I had my phone. I was like, should I check it? Maybe it has like, 100 views or something. I was like, no, let's check it in the morning. So it has a little bit more and then I can feel good about it. So I don't check it. I wake up in the morning. I'm like, all right, let's see what the video did. I open my app, 0. It's like, what? And I check, and somehow it switched from partially blocked to blocked, like fully blocked. And I'm just sitting there like, why? Why did this happen? And the annoying part is because now I've already published it, when I republish it, if it does get unblocked, you guys aren't going to get a notification for it. So do me a favor, guys, in the next couple days, just check my feed. Hopefully, I've submitted all the disputes. I don't know if I've ever shown you guys, but I think I have. But anyways, it's blocked right now. There's all the timestamps. There's my thumbnail for it. Maybe I'll use this thumbnail for this video too. But you know what I thought is I could just sit here and maybe give you guys some thoughts because I'm very excited about this album and listening to M do a purposeful, like full concept album was amazing. Because in my mind, like I think about a lot of artists that do cool things, but I feel like M is like a perfectionist. And if he was going to attempt something, he was going to attempt to do it extremely well. Okay? Now, obviously, last night was my first listen. When you guys do finally get to see the reaction, you will see my like raw, unfiltered first thoughts. And as I have listened to the album one more time already since last night, it's going to be on repeat, by the way. I have thoughts that have kind of changed a bit and maybe like some thoughts that have expanded. But overall, I thought maybe I'll just share with you guys what I feel about it. First of all, I thought it was amazing. I thought he did a fantastic job. The technicals were fantastic. The flows, the rhyme schemes, the content was jarring at times. And it was just like, imagine every single thing that you could possibly say to get a reaction out of people is basically what happened in this album. conceptually, so the concept of this, of Marshall killing Slim and Slim coming back for revenge, is basically how you can loosely kind of sum up this story. Okay? So, we open up the album at Renaissance, and immediately I hear the hop tua, the spit, and I immediately think of the Graveyard trailer. And how in that trailer we see the tombstone, Slim Shady's dead. Presumably it's Marshall spitting on the grave. And at the end, there's a lightning strike and a hand comes out. And you'll notice that in Renaissance, there's a lightning or a thunder sound. And then the song starts. So immediately I thought, okay, Marshall thought he killed Slim. Slim is not dead, and he's coming back for revenge. And we start, right? We go through, and in Habits, we kind of start hearing the muffled talking. So now I understand the connection of Slim, finding Marshall, tying him up in the basement. We don't get the basement trailer situation until much later, so all the way at the breaking news skit. But we understand what's happening with the story. Now, from Renaissance all the way through breaking news, the skit, Houdini's kind of like the climax of Slim, doing his dastardly deeds. But basically what's happening here, in my opinion, and as I listen to this, is Slim comes in and he goes, all right, all the healing and all the progress and all the change and all the positive movement that you've done since getting rid of me, presumably again at the end of Relapse, being like kind of the death of like original Slim Shady as we knew him, I'm gonna undo all of that, right? And we see him doing that. We see him undoing any like PC stuff. So he starts saying words that he shouldn't really be saying, according to today's PC culture. He addresses a lot of cancel culture. He even starts undoing progress he's made in his personal life. So he's undoing the progress he's made with his mom. He's undoing the progress or the healing he's done with his ex-wife situation. And we just see all of this unraveling happening. So, Slim is literally set to destroy everything M has built and get him canceled. And honestly, this is why I've made my thumbnail this, get us, true EMINEM fans, canceled in the process. Because I believe he has a line. Now again, I've only heard it twice, so I can't remember which song it's on. But M has a line or Slim has a line where he says, I have you laughing at stuff that you shouldn't be laughing at. Yeah, I caught myself doing that a lot. So honestly, very well done in this. And throughout this process between Renaissance to breaking news, we are getting glimpses of more interactions of them in the basement. You look at All You Got, and All You Got was really just like Slim showing why he has this frustration with Marshall, and that he's the reason why Marshall even managed to, become famous. Slim Shady LP, the birth of Slim Shady, that was the breakthrough. And so it was just an awesome experience from this concept and story kind of unfolding. Now we get to Guilty Conscience 2, and I personally was nervous going into this track. And I expressed this in my reaction where I say that I think when a song was so good and so epic, I think some of us may have felt this way about, like, for example, Marshall Mathers LP 2. We all know how we feel about Marshall Mathers LP, the original. So when you sequel something, now it's kind of like, you're almost being sucked in to automatically make a comparison to the first track. So I was nervous. I really hoped that it would live up, because Guilty Conscience is, in my opinion, a classic, like brilliantly well done song. And we start to realize what's happening here, because now Marshall and Slim are going at each other, having a back and forth with each other. This ultimately culminates in Marshall convincing Slim to release him from his bonds, from the chair, and they get into a fight. And the outcome of that fight is basically Marshall killing Slim. So we hear gunshot at the end. Okay. From that, we immediately go into the song Head Honcho with Easy Mill. And in this song, when Marshall finally, or when Eminem finally comes in, by the way, big up Easy Mill. Fantastic job on both your verses and the chorus. I absolutely loved when you were rapping in your language. I don't know what you were saying, but it was fantastic. We get into Marshall's part, and immediately he introduces himself as Marshall. Like he says, Marshall. His voice is slightly different. He's kind of stepping away from the Slim Shady type of delivery. And he basically says in this song, like, I'm the boss, I'm in charge, right? As we go forward, and now I don't remember exactly if it was in Head Honcho, maybe it was in Bad One, because in Bad One he addresses some stuff. Bad One was an interesting one to me too. I really like it because to me it's like that quintessential M about a girl song, but rapping it in a way where the girl is really like a personification of his relationship with the music industry and with rap. And that's really what my perception of that track is. But it was either in Head Honcho or that one where he basically confesses that it's him. There is no Marshall and Slim Shady, right? We're finding out that it was really just that, this whole alter ego situation is really his way of having an out for when he lets his craziness get the better of him, right? He's like, I say some crazy shit and just blame it on Slim. I believe it was a lyric, something to that effect. And now we kind of start to understand what's going on, at least from my perception of this album. I think at this point, it's a realization that they aren't two separate entities, which we've always known, like it's a creation of his, right? But they are one person. It's the realization that people are imperfect and we have multiple sides to ourselves, and that sometimes that voice that is the other side that says, do the bad thing, do the bad thing. Sometimes that voice wins, and it leads to some stuff. And I think that, again, the culmination in Guilty Conscience 2, ultimately being that Marshall does suppress him, suppress this other side of himself, is a realization that, he's never going to be done with this battle. Just like the rest of us will never be done with the battle of, should I do this thing or should I do that thing? It's just going to be a part of our life. That's what I got out of this album. And I think that's like a really cool concept, and the way that he, delivered it. I even think about like the two super emotional songs on this, right? So we have Temporary, which was very difficult for me to listen to because I think just the concept of like leaving something for your child for when you're no longer going to be around. This is something I've been playing with as well. Like I've been kind of like playing with a concept of, if you were to like write letters and put them away in like a box or something, and it's like, do not read this until after I'm gone type of thing. And that would be the concept of like an album that I would write. It might even be like something like A Letter To, and that's the name of the album. But then each song is like my father, my wife, my children, or like my firstborn, my friend, like, something like that. And it would be a short album, but like each song is like a letter to those people to kind of, reflect upon your relationship, but then also express things that maybe you'll never get to express now. So when I heard Temporary, it made me very emotional because I think that it's a very emotionally charged concept to write about. I think it was difficult for him too, because unlike the rest of the album, where the choruses were very short and the verses were long, this song was complete opposite. The choruses were long, very beautifully sung by Skylar Grey, but the verses were very short, and not the typical packed with stuff that we expect from M. And I think it made sense because it's difficult to do. at times his voice even sounded a little bit emotionally affected. But then we come to the other emotionally charged song, which is Somebody Save Me. And this to me was extremely powerful because I think about some of the stuff that I was doing when I was in my darkest places and relying on some stuff to feel a certain way. I lacked all ability to see beyond my current moment and my current need to suppress the depression or the hurt or the pain that I was feeling in that moment. And because you think momentarily the substance or whatever it is that you partake in is the obvious answer. It will immediately deal with the situation. But this song to me was like a wake-up call for anybody who's in that dark place. Because you can't see past your current moment. Hearing a song like this that talks about, it didn't end well. And because it didn't end well, you missed this, and this that your daughter did. You didn't get to see her start her podcast. You didn't get to walk her down the aisle. You didn't get to go to her guitar recital. You didn't get to see your nephews born, nephews and nieces born. You didn't, and the list goes on and on and on, right? And I think that is an extremely, by the way, shout out Jelly Roll, awesome job, fantastically well done, and the fact that the last chorus was different and it was like, it just felt so sad. It was like, anyways, I don't want to talk about it. It's going to take me to a sad place again. You'll see it in the reaction. But I just think it's so powerful, and I think it would be very helpful for anybody dealing with that specific situation. So anyways, that's kind of what I perceive the concept and execution of the story to be and what the meaning was. Again, I think he did a fantastic job doing this. And yeah, let me know, guys. Let me know if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you had a slightly different, read on what the story was and how it kind of unfolded. I would love to hear your thoughts. In the meantime, hopefully, once a dispute is submitted, usually 48 to 72 hours, I see the video get unblocked. So I'm thinking like you probably won't see it till like Monday. I wish I could do it faster. I sent emails to a couple people, a couple reactors that I saw did have it out, but the only ones that I saw had the full version out are really big channels like Crypt, like John Denton, but he has a very edited version of it, so that makes sense. No Life Shack, and they're so big that they're not going to be able to read an email from little old me. So anyways, I'll do my best. Hopefully it comes out soon. If you guys are still here, I appreciate you spending your time with me. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you next time.